For decades, we have been conditioned to believe that the brain is the command center of reality. We are told to think positive, to change our mindset, to visualize with the mind. We obsess over our thoughts. We analyze our logic. We try to force our brains to believe in miracles. But what if I told you that you have been trying to change reality with the wrong organ? What if the control center of creation is not in your head, but in your chest? Modern science has recently discovered something that mystics, prophets, and Jesus himself knew thousands of years ago. The human heart is not just a pump that moves blood. It is a battery. It is a broadcasting station. Research shows that the heart generates an electromagnetic field that is 5,000 times stronger than the brain. 5,000 times. This means that for every bit of energy your brain emits, your heart emits 5,000 times more magnetic power. And when Jesus walked the earth, he didn't teach people to think their way into miracles. He taught them to feel their way into them. He understood the physics of the body. He knew that while the brain thinks, the heart attracts. So take a breath. Let this sink in. Drop your awareness from your head into your chest, because today we are going to decode the physics behind the most powerful teaching Jesus ever gave, the magnetic power of the heart. To understand why your prayers often go unanswered, we first need to understand the limitations of the brain. The brain is a biological instrument designed for polarity. Left hemisphere, right hemisphere. Logic, creativity, good, bad, past, future. The brain's job is to separate reality into pieces so it can analyze them. It creates division. It judges. It calculates odds. When you try to manifest from your brain, you're fighting against its very nature. You say, "I want to be healed," but your brain immediately calculates the statistical probability of that not happening. The brain creates doubt because its job is to keep you safe in the known reality. It is not designed to create a new reality, but the heart is different. The heart does not have two hemispheres that conflict. The heart creates a unified field. It is the organ of oneness. It is the organ of connection. Jesus knew that to access the power of the kingdom, you had to bypass the binary logic of the brain and enter the unified field of the heart. This is why he said, "Unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven." He wasn't telling you to be immature. He was telling you to get out of your analytical mind. Children live in their hearts. They feel before they think. They believe without calculating the odds. Jesus was inviting us to leave the organ of judgment and enter the organ of creation. Let's look at the data. Institutes like HeartMath have spent decades measuring the invisible energy of the human body, and what they found changes everything. They discovered that the electrical field of the heart is up to 60 times stronger than the brain, but the magnetic field is 5,000 times stronger. This field extends several feet outside your body in a specific shape known as a torus, a donut shape. Energy flows up from the heart, circles around your body, and flows back in. You are literally walking around inside a magnetic bubble, a continuous loop of information that you are constantly broadcasting into the quantum field. This field is not empty. It carries data. It carries the signature of your emotions. When you feel fear, frustration, anxiety, or anger, this magnetic field becomes jagged. It becomes chaotic. Scientists call this an incoherent spectrum. In this state, you are literally repelling the things you want. You are broadcasting static noise into the universe. But when you feel gratitude, compassion, care, or love, the field changes structure. It becomes smooth, it becomes ordered, it becomes like a laser. This is called coherence, and a coherent magnetic field acts like a magnet. It pulls reality towards it. This is the scientific definition of faith. Faith is not an intellectual agreement with a doctrine. Faith is a coherent magnetic signal broadcast from the heart. There is a story in the Gospels that perfectly illustrates this physics. The story of the woman with the issue of blood. She had been sick for 12 years. She had spent all her money on doctors. Logically, physically, financially, she was hopeless. Her brain had every reason to give up, but she didn't use her brain. She used her magnetic intention. She said to herself, "If I only touch his garment, I will be made whole." Notice what happened. Jesus was surrounded by a crowd. Hundreds of people were bumping into him, touching him, pushing him, but none of them were healed. Why? Because they were touching him physically, but not magnetically. But this woman, she came with a coherent heart. She came with a broadcast of absolute expectation. She didn't ask. She didn't beg. She simply entered his field, and the moment she touched the hem of his robe, healing happened instantly. But here is the most important part. Jesus stopped and asked, "Who touched me?" His disciples said, "Master, everyone is touching you." But Jesus said, "No, someone touched me, for I perceived that power has gone out from me." Think about that. Power went out. He felt the magnetic transfer. He felt the surge of energy leave his field and enter hers. This wasn't just a religious miracle. This was the law of entrainment. Her coherent need pulled energy from his coherent abundance. The two fields locked together, and reality was rewritten in an instant. This is what is possible when you stop thinking and start aligning. When you read the Gospels with this understanding, you realize that we have lost the ancient mode of prayer. In the West, we have been taught to pray with our words, to ask, to beg, to explain our problems to God. But Jesus taught us to pray with our state of being. He said, "Whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours." Look closely at the grammar. Believe that you have received it. Past tense. Fulfillment. How do you believe you have received something that hasn't happened yet? The brain cannot do this. The brain analyzes facts, and the fact is, the healing isn't here yet. Only the heart can do this. The heart can generate the feeling of gratitude before the event occurs. The heart can produce the magnetic signature of healing before the cure arrives. Jesus was teaching us to use the heart as a quantum bridge, to broadcast the signal of the future in the present moment. The quantum field acts like a mirror. It doesn't reflect your wishes. It reflects your signature. This explains the frustrating cycle many people live in. You want financial abundance, so you pray for money. But while you pray, your heart is tight with anxiety about bills. Your magnetic signal is fear of lack. So the universe mirrors back more bills. The universe does not judge you. It simply confirms you. This is why Jesus said, "To those who have, more will be given." To have means to hold the vibrational signature of receiving. It means your heart is already celebrating. Your magnetic field is already broadcasting thank you. When you enter that state, you are no longer asking, you are attracting. So, how do you apply this? How do you turn on the magnetic power of the heart? You do it through what Jesus called agreement. He said, "If two of you agree on earth about anything you ask for, it will be done for you." He wasn't just talking about two people. He was talking about the internal marriage, the marriage of the head and the heart. Usually these two are at war. Head says, "I want to be healthy." Heart says, "I'm afraid of pain." There is no agreement. The signal is scrambled. But when you synchronize them, when the head creates the clear image and the heart creates the elevated emotion, the two have agreed. The electric thought combines with the magnetic feeling. The signal becomes unified. The laser is focused. And when a laser is focused, it can cut through reality. You can start this today. You don't need a temple. You are the temple. Let's do this together. Step 1. Shift your attention. Stop thinking about your heart and place your awareness inside your heart. Where attention goes, energy flows. Physically feel the center of your chest. Step 2. Regulate the rhythm. Slow down your breath. 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. This signals your nervous system that you are safe. You cannot create from survival mode. Step 3. Activate the engine. Imagine light expanding gently from your chest, like a soft, golden pulse. Feel it reorganizing the space around you. Summon a feeling of gratitude, not for something external, but for the life in your body. As you feel this, your magnetic field expands. It smooths out. It begins to broadcast a signal of coherence. Step 4. Broadcast the intention. Now, while in this state, bring your desire into the field. But don't ask for it. Feel the gratitude for it already being done. Bathe the thought in the magnetic power of the heart. This is the secret key. Thought directs the signal. Emotion powers the signal. When you do this, you stop being a victim of your circumstances, and you become a broadcaster of your destiny. Jesus came to show us that we are not powerless observers. He came to show us the machinery of creation. He didn't keep the power for himself. He said, "The works I do, you will do also." He was waiting for us to stop using only our brains and start awakening our hearts. Because the brain can analyze the past, but only the heart can attract the future. Your heart is the strongest magnet in your existence. It is the bridge between you and the divine. It is the door to the kingdom. So the next time you pray, or dream, or ask, don't just think it. Don't just say it. Drop into your chest, turn on the field, and feel it as truth. Because the mind observes reality, but the heart shapes it. If this message resonated with your heart, you are welcome to subscribe and stay connected to this frequency. Join us as we continue to decode the science of the spirit. Welcome home.